Carbon accumulation in engines is frequent and may deteriorate performance, fuel economy, and health. Time deposits carbon on engine components, including the combustion chamber, intake valves, and piston crowns. This accumulation may cause rough idle, power loss, pollutants, and fuel inefficiency. There are numerous ways to remove carbon deposits and restore engine performance. Understanding carbon buildup. This is your engine progressively choking itself without you ever being aware of it. When gasoline undergoes incomplete combustion, it leaves behind residue that binds to the engine's components, forming carbon deposits. The gasoline no longer washes over the intake valves in current engines, which results in greater deposits. This factor contributes to the increased prevalence of carbon buildup in modern engines, especially in those that use direct fuel injection. It is possible to avoid more serious engine problems by recognizing the indicators of carbon accumulation at an earlier stage. Markers of carbon accumulation in the body. Are you seeing harsh idles, slow power, or poor fuel economy? What if it's not your gasoline that's begging for assistance, but rather your engine? Rough idling refers to vibrations or an engine's uneven idle speed. A noticeable loss of acceleration or a performance that is slow is an indication of decreased power. Emissions that are higher than normal include higher amounts of contaminants or exhaust smoke. Poor fuel economy refers to the frequent need to refill due to decreased efficiency. A misfire or sensor issue may cause the check engine light to illuminate. We refer to this as the check engine light. Should you see any of these signs, it is imperative that you treat the problem as soon as possible to avoid any more harm. Methods to clean carbon deposits. Do you want to regain the power that your engine has lost? Here is a list of the top 5 techniques to combat the persistent accumulation of carbon. Some of them may surprise you. 1. Fuel additives. The use of gasoline additives is one of the most straightforward approaches to lowering the accumulation of carbon. To ensure that the fuel system and combustion chambers remain clean while the engine is operating, these additives have been developed. They are able to assist in the dissolution of small deposits and inhibit the formation of new deposits. It is essential to choose an additive of the appropriate grade that is suitable for the type of engine you have. Second top-tier detergent, gasoline. Utilizing top-tier detergent gasoline on a consistent basis may assist in the preservation of engine cleanliness. These fuels have greater concentrations of detergents, which cleanse the intake valves and fuel injectors, hence lowering the amount of carbon deposits that are present. By using the engine on a regular basis, you can avoid the production of new deposits and ensure that it continues to work smoothly. 3. Hydrogen carbon cleaning. One of the most modern methods for cleaning is called hydrogen carbon cleaning, and it includes putting hydrogen gas into the engine's intake system. The carbon deposits are broken down into innocuous gases, such as water vapor and carbon dioxide, as a result of the hydrogen's reaction with the carbon deposits. Using this method, the combustion chamber may be efficiently cleaned, and the performance of the engine can be restored without the need to disassemble its components. Hydrogen cleaning extensively removes contaminants from solid surfaces in a variety of sectors, including the automobile industry. Cleaning with hydrogen has a very high level of effectiveness in terms of cleaning. Hydrogen, for instance, is capable of removing around 60 nanometers of carbon and oxidized compounds off surfaces in 20 seconds without causing any damage to the metal surface. 4. Mechanical cleaning, walnut blasting. When there is a significant accumulation of carbon, mechanical cleaning procedures could be required. Another approach that is often employed is called walnut blasting, and it involves using crushed walnut shells to scrape carbon deposits off intake valves in a gentle manner. Although it is a successful procedure, it does need specific equipment and a certain level of competence. Expert qualified mechanics typically carry out this procedure. In comparison to approaches that involve the use of chemicals, walnut blasting is a process that is more ecologically friendly when it comes to cleaning the engine of your automobile. The shells of walnuts are biodegradable and do not pose any risks to either human health or the environment. The procedure effectively removes nearly all hardened carbon while generating minimal waste. Walnut shells, in contrast to sand and other blast media, are far more pliable than the metal valves, which means that they don't harm any of them. If walnut shell particles get past the valve and into the combustion chamber, The heat will evaporate them, and they will exit through the exhaust without damaging the engine. 5. Manual cleaning. The need for hand cleaning may arise in certain circumstances. For this purpose, it is necessary to disassemble several components of the engine, such as the intake manifold, to immediately access and clear carbon deposits. Although it is successful, this approach requires a lot of manual effort and should only be carried out by experts with extensive knowledge to prevent any damage to delicate components. Preventive measures. What if you could block the accumulation of carbon before it ever begins? These simple routines have the potential to save both your vehicle and your pocketbook. Preventing carbon accumulation in your engine is not only more prudent than dealing with the damage it may cause over time, but it is also substantially more cost competitive. Carbon deposits have the potential to decrease the efficiency of an engine, increase emissions, and even lead to costly repairs. Your engine may be kept clean and operating at its peak performance with the aid of a few maintenance routines that you do on a regular basis. Start by doing oil changes on a regular basis using synthetic oil of a high grade. Clean oil helps minimize the amount of friction that occurs inside the engine and inhibits the formation of sludge in deposits connected to carbon. To achieve optimal results, adhere to the recommended intervals set by your car's manufacturer. Second, make sure that you always use top-tier or high-quality gasoline. These fuels include additional detergents that clean the injectors and intake valves, reducing the likelihood of carbon buildup in the engine. Steer clear of making many short travels, particularly when the weather is chilly. During short drives, engines fail to reach their ideal operating temperatures, leading to incomplete combustion, which significantly contributes to the accumulation of carbon and other pollutants. Finally, make sure that you include some highway driving in your regimen. Driving at high speeds for an extended period of time helps remove small deposits and contributes to the general cleanliness of the engine. Final thoughts. The accumulation of carbon is a typical problem that may impact the performance and lifetime of an engine. You will be able to take preventative measures to ensure the continued health of your engine if you have a thorough awareness of the sources and symptoms of carbon deposits. It is possible to keep your engine operating smoothly by doing routine maintenance, which may include the use of gasoline additives, the use of high-quality fuel, and periodic cleaning with hydrogen carbon. When the situation is grave, it may be essential to use expert mechanical cleaning procedures such as walnut blasting. To discover the most appropriate method for your car, you should always seek the advice of a trained technician. Like, share, and subscribe for more.